Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cup Council. How are you all? Hopefully, everyone's having a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world, of course. And welcome back to our post-match reaction to, of course, Liverpool winning by 1-0 against Fulham, which, of course, makes it 5 wins now in a row for the Reds, which, of course, is unheard of this season. Of course, in previous seasons, of course, it would happen left, right, and centre, but this season it's been a lot different, of course, anyway. But of course, that game was hard to watch, certainly in that second half. But again, I think it's better to win games like this than, of course, winning a 6 or 7 nil. But nevertheless, of course, a win is a win. And look, I'll 100% take it, and hopefully all of you guys will as well. But of course, that's a massive thank you to, of course, Mohamed Salah as well, scoring Liverpool's penalty, straight down the middle penalty for the Reds, of course, which now takes them up to 18 league goals in this season as well. But of course, again, look, it's been an up and down season, but Mohamed Salah, for his worst ever season, again, look at his goal scoring form, absolutely unbelievable, yet again as well. And of course, he's one away, I believe, from equaling, sorry, Steven Gerrard's record as well for of course, I think fourth top goal scorer in the club's history. So again, obviously, just a matter of time for Mo as well. But of course, again, Liverpool had to rely on the likes of Alisson Becker as well to save us at times as well. Again, look how lucky and how fortunate are we to have Alisson Becker. What an amazing goalkeeper. Again, even though Liverpool have been poor this season, like once again, Liverpool's quality, or Alisson's quality, I should say, has definitely not disappeared this season anyway. And again, we'll speak, of course, about Trent as well. Again, for me, unbelievable again tonight in that new role. Of course, let me know your guys' thoughts on man of the match as well. But again, for me, Trent completely controlled that midfield yet again in that new hybrid formation. And again, obviously, for me, the last 5 games, he's been the article or the architect, I should say, in terms of how good Liverpool have been as well, I should say anyway. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know how you are in the chat as well, and let me know, who your man of the match is for the game as well. Because again, it'd be very interesting to know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below anyway. But very quickly get into the comments. And again, if anyone is new around here as well, then please hit the like button, please hit that subscribe button as well. We are trying to get to 1K before the end of the season, so fingers crossed, and hopefully we can do it before the end of the season anyway. But Chris saying I was at work, so I missed it as well. I'm not gonna lie, Chris, you didn't really miss too much. That second half was abysmal. I'm not even gonna lie. And that's not even me joking either. It was awful that second half. But again, the nitty gritty wins are probably the best throughout the season. But of course, in terms of Liverpool now, obviously top four is more or less gone now. Obviously, this, of course, mathematical hope, if that makes sense, in terms of, again, it's possible mathematically that Liverpool can still get top four. But look, I think being realistic, it is Europa League for Liverpool next season as well. And of course, it is just building now to next season and what we can achieve going into, of course, the summer now anyway. But hopefully we can continue this momentum, take it into next season. 100% Chris, 1000% agree. Alisson, arguably goalkeeper of the season without them, we beat Chelsea. Yeah, 100%. That's not even a joke neither. It would 100%. Liverpool would beat Chelsea. And we know how bad they've been this season anyway. But we'll take a quick look as well at the league table before we speak more on the game as a whole. But if we take a quick look at the league table now, after that win for Liverpool, of course, Liverpool remain in fifth place. Obviously, played 2 games more than Manchester United, but now only 4 points behind them. Which, again, look, in my opinion, look, I think perfectly well. It's going to be interesting to see, can United keep that? Again, I like to turn around and go, oh yeah, Liverpool, we're not getting Champions League. But look, if United bottled it, it would be absolutely tremendous, wouldn't it? As well, of course, United do play, Brighton on the weekend as well. So again, but again, look at the form table, or the form for Liverpool on the right. Again, we've more or less love to see that as well. And of course, what we used to. But of course, the last couple of seasons, it hasn't been that case as well. I can see you, Luke or Ricky, in the chat. Do you know what? I will send you a link right now. So if you want to join, you can join. I know that you were just streaming as well, so please go and check out the boys as well over on the 1882 Reds TV. I always want to call it a podcast. They know it. Everyone knows it. What am I doing? I'm sending a link to Luke and Ricky. But yeah, so if I send this and none of you come on the show, then I don't want to hear from any of you that I don't send links. Yeah, is that understood? I sound like a proper dad for there. Where are you? Again, Twitter. Again, I hate Twitter these days. It's so horrible to use. There we go. Right, there we go. The link's been sent, boys. If you haven't got it, then it's again not on me. Anyway, but obviously Luke and Ricky are in with the eyes emojis as well. Get in Reds as well. Got lost in the post as well. Yeah, it went walkabouts in the chat. To be fair, Talia all been a very weird game. Yeah, no, it was, Gary. Look, it wasn't the prettiest of performances. I think Liverpool should have and probably, should have and could have, scored another goal in the game. I think Fulham had about 2 chances in the whole of the game, but they were 2 very, very good chances. I think one was with Willian, and I can't quite remember who the other one was with. But yeah, no, it was a weird game. And look, I don't think any of us would be complaining if this was for the title race and that, and like we were talking about, Liverpool being in that type of situation. Again, I don't think any of us would be complaining right now in terms of that win. But look, at the end of the day, I think overall, again, 3 points on the board, taking confidence going in now to Brentford, which of course is going to be another tough game for the Reds. But realistically now it's just confirming Europa League football for us. But again, obviously I know that people will have a go at, not have a go, but maybe question Darwin Núñez tonight as well. At times I've already seen on social media idiots talking about it, and that for me, I thought Darwin didn't do overall good in certain aspects, but again, the first half I thought he was very good. Curtis Jones as well I thought was very good in that first half in particular. Don't nod at me, Luke. Just, I look down. That's all I can see is Luke going, "Yep. For God's sake, Luke." But did you think Darwin Núñez had a good game?
No. I thought. I mean, thanks for letting me come on. First of all, let me be nice.
Well, there's your invite. You don't have to say.
Yeah, I know. No, I just think I've been on for a while. I thought to myself, I'll be happy to talk a Liverpool win. Obviously, I don't want to be talking about us losing.
No, none of us do, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky likes it when we lose. He don't like it. He don't like it when we win, but when we lose, he's just.
Oh. Has Luke's internet crashed or has my internet crashed?
I think it was you, to be fair. I think we're talking about Ricky has made it crash.
Oh, no.
I think, just this Darwin Núñez. He done very well in the first half to win the penalty. It was slightly soft because obviously he doesn't really get much contact. But, I mean, how much time in the world did Diop want in the box? And obviously he's run the risk and, Darwin Núñez was very clever. I thought second half, he was... He tried with some runs. I think he was a bit frustrated because Fulham were quite compact at the back. They were solid. And, he had that one moment, didn't he, where Trent played that really good ball, through the middle and he miscontrolled it. And it just sort of summed up his performance for me. Not too much service. But, sometimes I think when you've not played, not started a lot of games through the last, few weeks, it's rustiness in it. It's obviously he's trying to get back into the team. But hopefully he gets a bit more of a run towards the end of the season. But yeah, it wasn't his greatest game, but he won us a penalty. So he obviously won us the game in that regard.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And obviously I spoke about Mo earlier on. It's not bad for somebody that's having the worst season ever. Was it 25 goals and assists in 33 Premier League games?
Can't be too bad.
Yeah, it's quite all right. Like it could be some, 100 million euro signings. Not mentioning any names, but we'll move on anyway. But of course, obviously, with Brentford, I know in your chat you answered this as well, but I think you had the question in terms of the top four. Obviously, I think everyone's dream is, again, can Liverpool do the impossible? On paper, it's obviously still a possibility in terms of points, but I feel like if Brighton do something, weird against United, especially with United having injury problems with, centre halves and certain situations as well, like could it be possible the fact that United bottle top four?
I mean, I'm still not believing it will happen, but yeah, you kind of nailed it on the head. I mean, Man United got defensive issues. I mean, to be fair, you don't want to be playing against this Brighton team. I mean, they gone and smacked 6 goals at the weekend against Wolves, and Man United obviously do concede goals. I know they kept a clean sheet against Villa, but Villa, they had a couple of real good chances. On another day they take them, but if I'm Man United, I'll go into that game tomorrow and I think to myself, right, Liverpool have done their job. Obviously, they didn't play overly great tonight, but we got 3 points. And I think Ten Hag come out in his conference and said, like, top four is not secure, and he's right. Man United, I think they still need, I think it's 8 points or 9 points. So 3 wins out the 5 that they've got left, or 6 that have got left, is enough. But if they do lose to Brighton or they draw to Brighton, it makes that West Ham game at the weekend even more tricky. Because Liverpool, again, we play earlier than them. They play Sunday. So, if they draw tomorrow and then we get the win against West Ham, we then go 2 points behind them. It makes their game in hand and their game's a lot more difficult because they're under more pressure. So, I'm not 100. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, these are the 2 games for me that will change my mind on it. I can't see. Liverpool could win the last 4 games. We'll finish on 71 points, and we could. For me, I still think we finish 5th, but it depends on these next 2 games. If Man United get 4 points or they get 6 points from these 2 games, then for me, it's done.
Yeah, I think either way, though, I think Liverpool again have to go maximum points from all the remaining games, which again is very hard to even comprehend in terms of like how bad Liverpool have been this season. But and just looking at now Manchester United's fixtures, of course, you mentioned in terms of Brighton and West Ham, Wolves at home, Bournemouth away, Chelsea. I was going to say Chelsea's a hard game, but
it's 3 points.
That's
Wish we played Chelsea.
Oh, we played Chelsea this season, and Jesus, Chelsea look like beating us. Which
we played them twice and got 2 points.
Isn't it like we haven't scored against Chelsea in like 200 odd minutes in the league or something, or I don't know. It's somewhere like in the last 4 fixtures. I think it's like 200 and something minutes Liverpool haven't scored.
Does that include the cup finals as well?
I think so, but I'm not entirely sure. I've seen a stat somewhere like saying that it's been 200 minutes since Liverpool last scored against Chelsea, which again, it's horrific when we think about it like that anyway. But obviously, like again, as Eamon has said, but Alisson man of the match from what I saw. Yeah, I think Ali again quite clearly, saving Liverpool's bacon yet again. But look, for me, like for my man of the match is Trent. Again, I think this last month he's been absolutely phenomenal. And again, obviously there's a lot of questions with this new style and new formation. But for me, I think we wanted to get the best out of Trent, and we're currently seeing that. And it's I think it's a big question going into next season of. I think we all suspect Liverpool aren't going to be playing this style or this formation next season, but at the moment we're seeing the best version of Trent again at the moment. But what did you make of Trent's game, or who was your man of the match?
Yeah, 100%. I thought Trent again was very good. I think his passing, was top notch, as we always see with Trent. Like he's able to pick a pass out that not any of us can see. That's just his performance. I compare him to like a snooker player in a regard. He's always 2 steps in front. Like when he's about to play a pass, he already knows what he wants to do. But I was thinking of maybe having him as my man of the match. But for me, I was very impressed with Konate. I thought his reading of the game. I thought he was dominant in the air. He was sometimes playing like the last man as well if Van Dijk was beaten on his side, and Konate was able to come across and cover the ground. I think He started play from the back as well, and I just think his confidence, and I think he's, when you're playing alongside someone like Van Dijk, who again, I think Van Dijk had a decent game. When you're playing alongside, someone like of that caliber, and you've got a goalkeeper behind you that you've got full trust in as well, it just makes your job a lot easier as a central defender. And yeah, I did sort of want to sort of lean to Trent because again, he had a very good performance, but I thought Konate was brilliant. I really did. I thought it was a good game from him.
No, yeah, absolutely. I think look, with each game he seems to be getting better, which for somebody who's 23 years of age, like again, like if the injuries can sort themselves out, like Jesus Christ, he's this good at 23. I don't
He's a
want to
beast, isn't
think.
he?
Yeah, I don't even want to think he's going to be like a 28, 29. Like Jesus Christ, like to be fair, we talked about Virgil van Dijk being the best centre back in the world. Like Konate, like again, when everyone talks about Konate up with Meccano, how he absolutely stole him from Leipzig.
Good thing we got the right deal in that regard.
Thank you very much to friggin' Leipzig and whoever else was involved in that deal as well. But Konate's been our only centre back this season, the only reliable centre back. Yeah, I think we're now seeing though we're seeing Virgil van Dijk slowly get back to it a little bit.
Mhm.
Of course, at the wrong time of the season, like because the season's practically over with. But I think since Virgil started to speak openly about his own mistakes this season, he's been slowly but surely getting back to the Virgil that we've seen. But again, obviously, I think we've seen the massive impact this season of somebody that come back too quickly from a knee injury. Again, now obviously we're seeing a very good Virgil van Dijk as well. But obviously, Chris is still saying, I thank Lord Konate is not Saka. Saka was, to be fair, Mohamedou Saka was.
Oh, he was a character though, wasn't he? He weren't the greatest defender in the world, but he was a character.
He was
Saka.
the perfect Brendan Rodgers centre off.
100%.
If you want,
can't have said it any better, Connor.
If you want a perfect centre half under Brendan Rodgers, Mohamedou Saka is the best version.
And just put Lovren next to him, and you got the job done.
Oh, Jesus! Do you remember when we played a back three? I think was it against West Ham? We played a back three, and it was like Saka, Skirtle, and Lovren. Like, honest to God, man. Thank God we've moved on as well from those days anyway. But just looking at it, I've just seen a stat as well. Obviously, in all competitions, Mo now has 40 goals and assists in all competitions, which, again, not bad for somebody that's in a flop season. But obviously, speaking about Mo as well, before we do head off, because I did say I was only going to be 10 minutes and I've been 20 nearly.
Sorry.
But, no problem. Again, I always say I'm going to be 10 minutes, and I always say I might be a little bit longer. And she's like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be like half an hour. I don't care. But obviously, he's one goal away now from, of course, equaling Steven Gerrard as the fifth. Yeah, sorry, I thought it was the fourth. Obviously, the fifth highest top goal scorer at the club. And obviously, I think we've spoken about this before on the channel as well, in terms of Mo being, an all-time Premier League great. But could you see him potentially getting to fourth as well? I think he's 30 goals, I think, away from third or fourth, somewhere around this. But obviously, just with Mo's legacy at the club and the fact, obviously, it's not over yet. Like how impressive has he been? In terms of like Liverpool being this crap, but still he's gone under the radar. I think it's certainly to Premier League rivals in terms of still performing at a high level.
It's Mo Salah, isn't it? It's easier said than done. It's just how we're talking about Mo Salah being, Liverpool's potential. He will obviously overtake Gerrard's record, and how he's able to still grind out 25 to 30 goals a season. Like this season in the Premier League, I've just checked in the Premier League. I think that was his 25th goal contribution this season. 18 Premier League goals he scored now. Is it a couple behind Kane? So yeah. The one thing that I've been so heavily impressed with Mo Salah is just his consistency. And, Rick obviously says on our channel as well, sometimes it's not the footballing ability that, we always look at. It's obviously he's being clinical, and he's obviously getting a lot of chances, and he's obviously taking them. And I just think his sheer confidence as well at the same time. I think you see today you have another penalty, went down the middle. And I think we're just running out of words to describe how good he is. I mean, he scored 185 goals with the football club as a winger.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just and I'm just looking at the list now. Yeah, so he's one behind Gerrard. He scored 185 goals in 301 games.
That's
That's just goals, and then obviously you got to put your assists on top as well. His goal contribution stats. I think I saw something on Sky Sports the other day when we played Spurs. I think it's one goal contribution every like 98 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. Like the numbers that he is bringing up for this football club is a joke. I mean, and fourth on the list is Billy Liddell. My calculation, he's 43 behind him. So, within 2 seasons, he could get into that top 4. I wouldn't rule it out, mate, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, Rick was saying maybe to get maybe in the top 3, but I think that'd be pushing it a little bit. If he gets into the top 3, it'd be like 33, 34.
Yeah, I think he'd have to be here for another like 4 years. I think 5 years potentially to maybe get into that. Yeah, I'm just quickly. I'm looking at the Premier League. Obviously, he's 2 away from Ivan Toney. But if you actually look at it, in terms of penalty goals, obviously that's the stat that everyone likes to throw at Mo Salah. It's like, oh, he just scores penalties. Compared to everyone else, Haaland's scored 7 penalties, Kane 4, Tony 6, and then Salah on 2. But then,
and he's missed 2.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just about to say. Like, you think of Harry, he would be on 20 Premier League goals right now. We'd be we'd be on level points with Manchester United right now if he had scored those 2 pens.
Yeah. Do you know, the thing is, though, I mean, the penalties, obviously, don't get me wrong, when people score penalties, like, oh, it's just, for me, the great players and the great strikers and the great wingers and all from our generation and from other generations, they don't care. Like, it's a goal at the end of the day. And I think I think it's, for me, I think for rival fans especially, it's definitely like a sign of jealousy. We know that we've got a world-class player in our team that can, even if it's a penalty or a 30-yard screamer, he will score goals. And if he's here for another couple of years, I expect Salah to at least maybe notch up another 50 goals for the football club within the next 2 to 3 years. That's just how we've learned to have Mo Salah around this football club. So, yeah, records will just keep getting smashed and broken every year. I mean, talking of records, I know it's off the subject, but I mean, Haaland today.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the 35 Premier League goals, and it's staggering. But
just goes to show, doesn't it? Like City were able to win a league title last season with no striker, and then this season, of course, they haven't struggled, obviously because they're currently top of the league. But like you said, 35 Premier League goals it's. I don't think it'll ever get broken. But then I never thought Mo Salah's record never got broken.
I think the only one that breaks Haaland record is himself. He goes on and gets it. And the thing is, this year he can still get to 40.
Unless maybe Kane goes to United, but then I don't see him scoring 35 goals in the league.
I mean, Man United get a lot of penalties, so.
No, that is true. Obviously, speaking about referees, you're a referee.
Oh, no.
I know you love speaking about this. Obviously, we're going to find out on probably Saturday morning, Friday afternoon about Jurgen's ban. What I was speaking to Doug obviously yesterday about this. How many games do you think Jurgen will get banned? 3?
We've got 4 games left, so it wouldn't surprise me if they ban him for 4. But it depends on. I mean, obviously he wasn't sent off during the game, so obviously they must have listened.
That's what I remember saying, because obviously if a player does it, and then the PGMLO were like, oh well, we apologise to this said team. This player should have been sent off. Nothing else is done about it. So why is it different for managers?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about referees with punishments. I mean, why is it different for referees? They can go and give people the people's elbow. That's just that's how.
Well, on chin uppercut. Just
yeah. You see him literally throwing his armband off, and he done it to Robertson as well.
We're gonna have Rock Hogan frigging WrestleMania 18 all over again.
It wouldn't surprise me if they gave him a 4-game ban, but to be honest, if I was smart, I'd only give him maybe a 1 game. I think I'm confident we'll definitely see Jurgen Klopp on the touchline for our final home game. So the next game's at home to Brentford. I don't think he'll be on the touchline for the Brentford game. And I think we'll go to Leicester. So maybe too. But the one thing that obviously talking as a referee's point of view, the one thing that I was very disappointed at with the PGMOL was they've come out and basically said that what was on the tape, Paul Tierney done it professionally. Obviously, said what he said, blah blah blah. If it was really that professionally, why don't you bring the tape out and let us all hear it? Because that's what, as fans and as players and coaching staff, but for us as supporters, the one thing that I would love to see come into effect is when there's like a big decision, a penalty or a red card offense. I want to hear what the referees are talking about. I do want to hear it, and that's.
I think French football is the best for that. Sorry about it. I think when they have, I think it's like the French football show, and they have referees come on and explain certain incidences of maybe the past weekend, or even just, I know on Sky Sports they have that ref watch, but even if you go by off Twitter in terms of the Jota situation, the Erling Haaland situation earlier on in this season, where it's very much the same situation in terms of, again, a high foot on a player. And in one instance, of course, they're saying red card. In the other instance, they're saying he's gone and played for the ball, and it's practically identical, which it was contradicting itself, to be fair. But I'd very much like the referees. Obviously, they used to do it with Sky, didn't they? Back in, I think, maybe like 20 years ago, maybe. But I think it got cancelled out for some reason. But again, I absolutely agree with it. But I do think French football at the minute is the best at that in terms of getting the referees mic'd up and them getting to explain why they went through a certain process, or in terms of a certain decision as well. I think that is something that the Premier League has to adopt to.
No, definitely. I'm hoping that Howard Webb, puts his referee hat on and not his Man United hat on, but I'm hoping he obviously does, something to, bring this in, because I know there was always debates about, like post-match interviews as well, like maybe bringing the referee. And I mean, the one thing that does me is like, obviously I've, got experience with refereeing. Obviously I'll do it, on a regular basis. It's not like just turn up, do the game and go home. There's a lot of stuff that referees have to do post-match as well. They have to do the match records. You have to, make sure that everything's all secure. Like there's so much, that you have to go through after a game. Because you'll have managers, players coming into the changing room, knocking on the door, like want to explain what decisions are for and stuff. And I think that's what they want to try and cut down on. So I think the best way of doing it is get the referee behind a camera for 5 minutes, like they do with the interviews, and say, right, you gave a decision in the 75th minute, you give a penalty. What was your thinking of it and why? And then I said to Jack before, I think some people may not agree with it, but I think if you hear the referee's standpoint of it, you'll actually get a bit more of an understanding and a bit more of a
clarity, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like some fans will be like, all right, I still don't agree with it, but fair enough. If that's what your opinion is, and because that's what it is opinions, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's what I like to see.
You are wrong, but I will accept your reasoning for it. But no, I agree. I agree 1,000% with you on that as well. Obviously, Chris has gone 1 or 2 game ban. We need to hear the type that lets who's telling the truth and who's lying. Yeah, absolutely.
We know who's lying, Chris. We know who's lying.
Yeah, the PGMOL. But 99 clean sheets for Alisson as well, says Andrew. Is it really? No, I didn't know that. Best goalkeeper in the world.
There's been a few records that have been going tonight. I mean, obviously Salah's, 1 goal away from Gerrard. I think, obviously 99 clean sheets. Haaland done his record. Man City scored their 1,000th goal under Pep tonight. So that there's been a lot of numbers records going around tonight.
Yeah, I think as well. Trent, or was it Curtis Jones as well? He had 100% pass completion in the first half.
Yeah.
£100 million player. Wait, what?
How many passes did he make? 3?
Something like that. But I seen Twitter going on about it when it was like, oh, he's got like this amount of ball recoveries, 100% pass accuracy. He didn't mention how many passes he did. I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm like a freaking £100 million player.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine these players getting the stats at half time? They say to Curtis Jones, "Oh, by the way, you know, because there don't get me wrong, there are scouts. There are like you got your coaches in the touchline and whatever, and they'll be going through like individual performances. So they might look at that and go,
Pep Linders with an iPad. It's like, look what you've done, Curtis.
Pep Linders at half time to come to him, go, Curtis, look, you made 25 passes in the first half.
Congratulations.
Literally. And then literally second half, first couple of minutes, he gets the ball and kicks it at Pep Linders and go, oh,
look what you made me do.
Oh, brilliant.
Chris, I don't agree with it because the referees are getting that across the line, but referee standards needs to improve. Jurgen shouldn't have got in the faces of officials, but he's passionate as well. Yeah, and again, obviously, I think Jurgen rightfully apologise in the press conference and obviously afterwards as well. But again, I think we've said it. I think, look, we don't agree with the abuse towards referees, but the level of officiating has to go up, a ton, because again, we have the best league in the world, but we have the worst officiating in the world as well, or especially in Europe, at least anyway. I would say, to be fair. But I'm going to leave it there for tonight, guys, before I get shouted at. For of course, staying on a bit too long. But Luke, thank you very much for coming on. Anything else you have to say before we do head off about tonight's game or anything in general?
Well, I mean, me and Ricky
tomorrow, like,
of course, yes, we got the quiz, guys, and no ball knowledge quizzes. But it only started off as a little small idea. But I mean, Yusuf loses every week, so it's quite funny.
Jack runs away from it.
Yeah, Jack runs away because he knows Yusuf. Like, he doesn't want to lose to Yusuf, but fair play to Yusuf, he loves it. But yeah, guys, obviously, if you haven't already, I'm sure you all have. But 1892 Reds TV is the place to find me, Rick. Obviously, Connor comes on, on regular appearances. So yeah, obviously come and join us. We are doing our no ball knowledge quiz tomorrow. Got our Brentford preview, I think, on Friday. So we've got a few episodes coming up. And obviously we're on a sort of little road to 800. We'd love to try and get it before the end of the season. But guys, obviously smash the like button on this channel and hit the subscribe button. Connor's so close to 1,000, guys. Hit that subscribe button. He deserves it more than anyone. Honestly, he works so hard on his channel.
I think we are 9 away now at the moment. So again, obviously, please go subscribe to the lads, and obviously, if you're not already, please subscribe here as well. Anyway, but Chris said Yusuf loses. God's sake, Chris.
Mate, like, to be fair to him, like, you are right, Chris. But to be fair, he's
getting better. He's getting better week in, week out.
He just don't help himself.
No, it's like, was it last week or 2 weeks ago where I think he was ahead running by 2 points, and then he bottled in like the last round. I was like, no, Yusuf, no. Like, we needed Tom to say it.
Put it this way: throughout the quiz, he was Thomas Tuchel, and then he turned into Frank Lampard at the end. That's what it was.
That's the perfect analogy.
But I'm hosting the quiz tomorrow, and it's a bit of a twist to it. It's not the customary, like 3 rounds of questions. It's a very different style of a quiz. So I'm not going to give too much away. The only thing that I am going to give, and if Ricky you're watching, or if Jack you're watching, if Jack don't run away, the only thing that I am going to give is do your knowledge regarding cup competitions. That's the only sort of thing I'm going to give.
Good God. I'm probably going to be saying that tomorrow. But again, both of these lads are in their subs as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Love that, Chris.
Yeah, but guys, big thank you to all of you guys for tuning in as well. If you're new around here, like I said, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button as well. Obviously, we will be live tomorrow for another news episode. Of course, we're going to probably speak about Alexis McAllister, and of course, obviously the news with Jude Bellingham as well, going to Madrid, which friggin' absolutely
let us down, Connor.
I'm so sorry, guys. It's my fault. It's my fault. No, but look, I'm just glad it's not City. If I'm being perfectly honest. Anyway, but guys, hopefully have a fantastic rest of your Thursday night. Is it Thursday today? No, it's Wednesday tonight.
It's Wednesday. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I'm one step ahead.
Star Wars Day tomorrow.
Yes, it is. We're gonna get our lightsabers out and we're gonna leave that to your imagination. That needs to happen for Halloween or something. We're gonna get that sorted anyway.
No,
but
do you know what? Do you know what? He's dark. No, do you know what he is? I just realised he's when he loses a quiz and he gets angry, he's the emperor.
we just need like the big oversized like gown. That's what we need. Anyway, but of course, guys, hopefully have a fantastic rest of your day. Anyway, wherever you are around the world as well, of course, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button as well. But I've been Connor from the Cup Council. We'll see you all later.